Hi, I'm speaking today with Claudio Lisman, who is the CEO of Primestream. Claudio, how are you?
All right, Eric. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. We're going to talk about the move to IP production today and how Primestream is helping facilitate that. Now, Primestream, of course, most people know as a company that focuses on media asset management, and that's still core to what Primestream does, right?
That's correct.
Okay, but we'll come back to that a little bit later, but you've recently put a heavy emphasis on IP-based production and bonded cellular. Can you talk about the changes in the market that are behind you making that move?
Sure. At Primestream, we are also known for recording
Sure.
baseband, HD, UHD. Well, the time came where I saw that we were beginning to work with streams,
Mm-hmm.
protocols like we're doing right now. We have RTC to communicate. And then with the pandemic, we had an acceleration of the need to be able to produce in the cloud. But producing in the cloud with a virtual switcher without being able to record in formats that can be edited, it makes sense, but it does not completely make sense. So I started thinking, hey, how about if we can treat a stream as we treat a baseband signal? And basically what we're doing is live transcoding. We're getting a stream protocol based signal, and
Mm-hmm.
we are converting it in real time into XDCAM, ABC Intra, or workable formats.
Sure. And you sort of call this ecosystem that you've created an IP network operations center. What are the components of that IP network operations center?
Good. The IP Network Operations Center basically has computers that are recording streams, but
Mm-hmm.
then from the origination, you have the sources that could be coming SRT or WebRTC or RTSP, HLS. Those sources, based on one computer, you can record them, you can ingest them, and then you can manipulate them as you want. So basically, the components are one computer. I mean,
Sure.
in one computer connected to the web, you can have a full production.
Right. And as we'll show with a slide here or two in just a minute, that greatly simplifies the workflow, doesn't it?
Tremendously, because when you need to work with baseband sources, you have to have routing switchers to monitor streams. You need to take the HDMI out of the computer and so on. Yes, completely simplify the topology.
Right, right. Now, you mentioned SRT earlier. Can you talk about some of the transport protocols that Primestream is able to use in the network operations center and a little bit about the pros and cons of each?
Yes, well, we can do RTMP, HLS, MPEG-Dash, SRT, you name it. I
Okay.
mean, it's if something is out there as a protocol, we can work with it. Advantages. I mean, basically, I think that there are two advantages or disadvantages. Compression is compression.
Mm-hmm.
So better compression, it's always better. But what I see in protocols such as SRT is the encryption capability, the low latency that goes into milliseconds.
Mm-hmm.
And all that allows you to produce much better on a web-based environment.
Right. Now, in your workflow, you're emphasizing bonded cellular quite a bit. What sort of applications and use cases are you seeing for the workflow that you've put together, particularly using bonded cellular?
Cellular is taking off. I remember when I started in my professional career, my background is in satellite
Mm-hmm.
communications. And the first antenna I installed was a 13 meter, 39 feet. Mm. Huge.
Right.
And we can only transport a few channels on those. And we started coming down on size, uh, 7 meters, 5 meters, 3 meter, 1.9 meter. And I remember times where we needed to move a truck to cover some news,
Mm-hmm.
a whole truck, or we needed to align microwave antennas. And if you had something blocking you, you had to do a dual path and so on. Well, with bonded cellular, all that is simplified. Now you can go on on site for an ENG coverage with a small backpack, and you can transmit to anywhere in the world from your cellular device, your
Right.
multiplex cellular. So I think the advantages are ease of use,
Mm-hmm.
flexibility to move around, and the capability to have multiple sites receiving that signal concurrently. So that's what I see in Bonda Cellular as an advantage.
Right. Let's close out by talking specifically about the products and services that are part of this network operations center. There's Media IO and there's the Exchange Media Cloud. What exactly are those products, are those services, platforms, and how do they fit together?
Media IO basically is a recording module that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to bring in a signal, any stream, or baseband as well, but we're talking about streaming and streaming protocols. So with a Media IO, you can play sometimes I think we move from an RF tuner to an IP tuner, where before to connect with the signal, you had to go to your TV or your satellite receiver, set up a frequency or
Right.
a wheel. And now any website is a tuner. You can tune into any website just by writing a URL or an IP and a port. So basically what Media IO does, you place your IP that you're searching, the port that is coming, immediately you'll be viewing the signal. And from there, you can start recording it. You can start also editing it, because we converted in real time to an editable format. So that's where Media IO has its place. Exchange is where we administer all this content, where we place the metadata, where we do subclipping, where we resend that content to someone else, or publish it to OTT and social.
Well, that's great. Well, and if people want to learn more about it, there's going to be a white paper from Primestream on streamingmedia.com soon. It'll be in the November, December issue of the magazine as well. And of course, they can visit the primestream.com website.
Eric, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I hope the weather stays as sunny, even outside of the virtual background.
Yes, thank you very much. This is my virtual beach office, which does not exist, but
well,
it feels good.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you, Eric, and to the whole audience of Streaming Media.